Ouch, was that a ghost? Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
All right. Ouch, was that a ghost?
With Liz,
And Lee,
Paranormal Podcast.
where stories are told in a funny way. Excuse my breath. Excuse my voice. I hope you guys can't smell the stench from there. I had a bit of a cold this past week, and I just have a lingering stuffy nose.
Rough night last night?
A little bit. I went to bingo, and you know how crazy that can get.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Those friggin' double Quinellas will get you every time.
Yes, they will. If you haven't listened to the last episode or two, then the new segment that we have here today with us that we're going to do
Is pick a topic.
is pick a topic. Where we have our family members write random topics down because we suck at icebreakers and, getting the mood going.
Ooh.
Getting the mood. So let's see. We're going to shake that hat. There's so many papers in here. Got one.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Perfect ice cream sundae in your head.
Perfect ice cream sundae?
But in your head. So maybe you can add additional imaginary toppings. Guess I'll go first. So my perfect imaginary sundae, if I could have any topping in the world that was edible, or technically to my head so I can make it edible.
Edibles, damn.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
Would be, of course, coffee Oreo ice cream with mint ice cream.
That is a lot going on.
It's so good already.
Coffee,
I know.
Oreo, and mint.
I know. You don't even have to say it. You don't even have to say
I'm
it.
just trying to picture it. Okay.
With gummy bears, hot fudge, Reese's cups. Woo! But not those little cheap cups. No, a full Reese's cup, like a king size and a boar's ass at the end.
What?
What?
How did we end that?
With a boar's ass.
Oh, a boar's ass.
Yes, a little bit of that.
Okay. A perfect sundae. Well, it would have to start with one of the waffle cone bowls.
Oh,
And
that's
then
a good one.
I'd go soft serve vanilla.
Ew, I hate vanilla.
I love soft serve. Oh, soft serve strawberry.
All right.
And then, what do you call that? Angel food cake chunks in there.
Is that just like plain
angel food cake
Okay.
chunked up in there. And then a whole bunch of like strawberries.
Oh, that does sound
Whipped
good.
cream. Definitely gummy bears.
Yes, you always have to have gummy bears.
Possibly worms to go crazy.
Oh my gosh. Look at you.
And I'd whip cream and cherry it.
Wow, nice. Gummy worms, are you sure?
I'm nuts.
Oh,
I'm crazy.
you're freaking crazy. It's crazy. Oh boy. All right.
Wow, the ice seems broken now.
Yep, I'm chilly. What about you? Someone get me a jacket. All right, so let's dive right in. Today's story is about the Smurl family. So
Smurl?
the Smurl, like a snarl.
Oh.
Oh wait, no snail. Oh,
No,
never mind.
snurl.
Smurl.
Smurl.
Smurl
Okay.
family. So they inspired the movie The Haunted and the book The Haunted.
Which one was The Haunted?
I have no idea. I haven't seen it. But it was an older movie. So, I guess you can say, is my research fully done? Considering I haven't seen the movie, but whatever. So this story takes place from 1974 to 1987. A few years in there. What is that? 74 to 87, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. That's
13, right?
10.
Wait, what was it?
Yeah, so that's about like 13 years.
Okay.
Janet and Jack Smurl moved their family of 3 daughters and Jack's parents to a house on Chase Street in West Pittston.
Oh, I never saw this movie, but this was one of the Ed and Lorraine Warren cases.
Yes.
That's the only reason I've heard the name before. Okay.
Yes, yep. So they moved to a new home in Pennsylvania after their previous home had flood damage in it. So their new home was a bit of fixer-upper, so obviously the family had to come together, fix everything, that's what happens in fixer-uppers. So they had to repaint and repair certain things, and the hauntings were very, very, or not really the hauntings at this point, the activity was very, very subtle. It was like small and harmless, random things, random tools or household items would go missing, and they would be found a few days later. Stains would seep through freshly painted walls, which To
Like,
me,
what kind of stains? Because some of them you could be just, like, explained. You know how, like, some
yeah,
wood you can paint and then it will just, like,
it
seep
didn't
through?
specify. It just said
Like,
stains.
knots on the wood?
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. It just said stains. It didn't specify like the color or what shape it took. It was just stains, which
Okay.
honestly would piss me off more than scare me.
Right?
But
I hate painting.
yeah, I've never been a fan of it. You actually have talent. I just
I
have zero creative bone in my
No, I
body.
don't mind painting pictures. I just hate painting walls.
Ah, yes, DIY mom over here. Says she hates it, but that's all she does. Anyway, so the activity progressed to kitchen appliances catching on fire. You know, small things. Even when the items were unplugged, they would suddenly just go up in flames, like a toaster, a thing. And it didn't specify toaster, but I'm assuming toaster, microwave, stuff like that, which is scary as
Ah,
hell. I know. Imagine someone wasn't home and it just caught fire. The whole house would have been gone, and the story would have never happened.
true.
Too bad.
Too bad.
And then also sudden random nasty odors would appear throughout the house. Like you would walk into a house and I mean not walk into a house, you'd walk into a room and smell like nasty egg yolks and then it would randomly be gone.
See, at this point, everything pretty much seems like, oh, it could be a wiring issue,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not plugged in, but some things are
Yeah.
faulty or the paint's coming through,
Right.
or just like a weird house that maybe there's a squirrel in the wall.
I don't know,
or-
that's what got me was the nasty odors because I remember when things got really bad and we were living in like in the shelter, that happened a few times where a random egg yolky smell would come up out of nowhere and it would just be like the nastiest thing I've ever smelled in my life and then it's gone. It was just creepy.
You never told me that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the motel was probably where it was the worst. We were I don't know, we had a lot of activity, but the hotel is the most memorable for me. It was creepy. But
I need to hear more on that, but go ahead, tell your story. But you need to like tell the whole story one day, just everything.
I know. We'll get to it when we get to it. Maybe it'll pop up in an icebreaker and turn into the whole story.
Right?
Segment to story. Oh! So the family was happily busy with school and work, and Janet was actually pregnant with her fourth girl. And the family barely even noticed the small happenings in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than like, I'm sure they noticed the fire, but like you said, most of the things could be explained. So they were probably like, oh, maybe this isn't a haunting, or maybe it's just we're a cheap family who needs to focus more on quantity and not on quality and not quantity. But the family ended up going through hard times. They struggled to make ends meet. They were really struggling to get by, and Jack's mother ended up having a heart attack. They had a stressful marriage. She did survive, but that put more strain on the household. And there was rumors that they were having a tough marriage, fighting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine that many kids all at once, just one after another. You're gonna
all girls. You want to rip your freaking head out. I mean, hair out. You want to rip your freaking hair out.
No, come like teenage years all together.
That's a lot. Yeah. It said their ages on one site that I saw, but I didn't want to put it down just because it was over the course of 13 years. So their ages fluctuated, obviously. And I definitely think that all of this negative energy definitely played a role in intensifying the activity because they say like the more negative the household, the more susceptible you are to having these hauntings. Like I remember again with my own experience that all of our hauntings started during a really rough time in our life. I'm not going to go into detail about everything, but like that's when everything first started was when our life when shit hit the fan. And there was a lot of negative.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that. I'm not an expert at all and know nothing more than just what I've heard because I like listening to paranormal podcasts and stories and stuff, but they feed off of energy.
Yeah. Like that we had the most negative energy around us when we were in the hotel, which is when that smell started happening. We heard little girls laughing.
What?
There used to be
You heard little girls?
Yes, little girls laughing. Me and Carissa, I had a room with a door, and then Carissa had like the rest of the room, the hotel room with like the bathroom and the little kitchen stuff and everything right there. And when she wasn't home, I would hear her TV go on. I would hear there was like a little desk with a chair. I would hear the chair being moved around. My sleep paralysis was horrible there. And I found out recently, I thought my mom, because didn't have a connecting room, but her room was right next to ours, was right behind my room. So I would hear 3 knocks at night right where her bed would be. And turns out it wasn't even her. She was like, I never knocked goodnight to you. I was like, are you kidding me?
That was every night you heard it?
Every night. Every night. We were there for what, like 2 months? Yeah. Every night.
That is so creepy. And little kids
I had no idea.
are like, they have like a different level of creepiness.
Yeah. Carissa even heard the little girls laughing. She didn't hear the knocking, but she heard the little girls. She smelt what I was smelling, and like.
So she was in the room with you, but only you heard the knocking?
No, so she had a different room. So it was like kind of like a hotel suite.
Yeah.
She had one. I had the room with the door, just the room, and then she had a room where there was also the living room, quotation, kitchen, and the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she didn't hear the knocking because my mom's room was right behind my room, if that makes sense. And and the knocking was coming right where my mom's bed would have been. So that's why I assumed it was her. But no, 3 knocks.
Lucky you didn't know while you were there.
Oh my God, yeah.
That it wasn't her.
That would have been scary. And then I don't know if you even heard the dream that Brittany had. That's a whole nother story about the guy holding up the sign, don't let him sleep. And then apparently the guy in Brittany's dream, the way she described him with the plaid shirt, that's the guy that me and Nina saw when the happenings first started.
Wait, hold on. You saw a guy?
Yes, in the corner of the room standing there with a plaid shirt on. Me and Nina saw it.
He was old, young, what?
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing his face. I just remember the plaid shirt. And we couldn't make out the face. But even Nina was in the room with me. We were scared as hell.
And she saw him too?
Yes.
And he was just standing there.
Just standing there in the corner.
Looking?
I don't know if he was looking at us or turned away. I just remember the figure in a plaid shirt.
And this was not sleep paralysis. You were awake.
I was awake because Nina was there with me. We were sitting there crying and like shaking and like, I don't know what to do.
Was he by the door?
No. He was by our closet. So it was like the door, and then
I can't even say I would have run because I don't even know if I would have frozen either. Like
imagine we got up and it like came after us,
and it did like a crab walk or something towards you.
That was so scary. And then I remember we like closed our eyes, and I was like, "Just don't look, Nina, don't look." And then we opened it, and it was gone.
And you think he's the one that like followed you around?
I don't know. Because in Brittany's dream, he was helpful. He was holding up a sign saying, "Don't let him sleep on this date." And then I don't want to give away too much because now I kind of want to tell.
Sorry. All right,
I kind of want to tell.
Yeah,
like,
I want to hear the whole story.
Okay,
so, all right,
maybe that's what I'll do for the next one. I'll just tell my story.
We're getting very sidetracked. Okay, so sorry.
Anyway, back to the Smurl family. So, like I said, they were. Where was I?
Having problems.
Yeah, so the family started struggling, hard times. Nana had a heart attack, but she ended up being fine. All of that. So then, once this negativity within the family started to get negative, obviously, things started picking up a bit. Okay. They would hear screams, and on multiple occasions, the neighbors would actually say that they heard screaming from the house when no one was home. They also heard snorting pigs and moans. Yeah, just imagine that, just sleeping, and all you hear is.
And there's no farm, nothing.
No.
Okay.
So snorting pigs just around the house.
I'm sorry, where was this taking place again? I'm still like thinking about your story.
Pennsylvania.
Yes. Okay.
They heard moans, hoof beats. They would hear voices on multiple occasions, and even voices that sounded like family members calling their names. Like there was one instance where Janet literally thought that the mother-in-law was calling her name, went to the room, and she wasn't even there.
Oh, that's so creepy when they can mimic people's voices.
I could, oh man.
Why did I just say it like that? Voices.
Because you're still finding your voice.
Oh, it's so creepy.
So creepy. And then obviously, on multiple occasions. I know, that's a go-to word. Oh, isn't it Avi?
I say apparently a lot, and I try not to say it because all I think of is that meme every time when the kid's like, apparently. So I try not to say that anymore because then I just want to laugh every time I say it.
We don't say allegedly. Because did you ever see that? I don't know if this is a touchy subject, but did you ever see Scary Movie? Like they were making fun of the Scary Movies, and Michael Jackson was in the room with a little kid, and he was like, and they said something about, I forget what they said, but he was like, allegedly. No, No, allegedly. So whenever anyone in the house says allegedly, everyone else says allegedly. Like, okay, all right. I'm done talking. The family also witnessed on multiple occasions black masses form out of the blue, and the masses would float around the house, and then disappear randomly. They would witness scratches appearing on the wall as they walked.
And they just stayed there?
They stayed there for 13 years, mind you. 13 years with these. And this isn't just you wait. Eventually, the hauntings became physical and spiraled out of control. This is... Fuck me! Oh, where's the baby?
I need a diaper. You didn't leave me with any.
Oh, God, Nina. Get the hell out of me.
Rawr.
Oh,
Get into
I
it.
thought you were doing it to be funny.
I thought you heard me walking. I stomped on purpose.
I
Bye.
didn't hear a single stop. My God.
I'm sorry. I thought you were trying. I would have told you it's Nina, but I thought you were trying to be funny and up and up. You okay?
I told you, these get me going.
This is probably the creepiest one you told me.
The family would feel mattresses being shaken. On multiple occasions, they were dragged from their beds, slapped and scratched by unseen forces.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Why would you stay there?
I don't get it. I don't know. And by the end of the story, they're able to pick up and leave. So, like, why did you stay there for so long?
But I would be sleeping in my car. I'd go to like a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot and just go sleep over there.
Well, they say, so apparently, what's weird is...
Apparently.
I don't want to give away, like, the ending, like, what... And well, it's not much of a
Yeah,
giveaway.
don't.
But, like, apparently, wherever they went, it followed them. Like, they went on a vacation to New Jersey, and it followed them.
Oh, so it was attaching to the people, not the house.
That's what they say, but...
Well,
yeah.
I don't want to ruin
All
the
right.
story.
So, one time, their German Shepherd was beaten and slammed into the wall.
No. Yeah. I hate animal stuff. It kills me.
It honestly kills me more than the human things, honestly, because it's like, it's a poor baby animal.
They are so sweet and
just sweet and innocent. Yeah, I can. I don't know. It is really sad. And
I wonder if the dog went crazy during all this, because you know how dogs and cats like know.
Yeah, and they'll just sit there staring and barking or hissing or like.
Yeah, listen to your animals. They know.
That's probably why he beat the shit out of the German Shepherd. He was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Oh, poor baby.
I know. That's not even the worst of it. Don't look at my screen.
That's not the worst of it?
That is not even close. So one night, Janet awoke to being molested by the demon. Her husband, Jack, also, not in the same night, on a different night, her husband, Jack, awoke and turned because he heard a woman whispering in his ear, which he thought was his wife. Turned, she was dead asleep, and he saw a black figure run up her leg.
Oh, so was it the,
A black shadowy figure.
No, what do you call those? There's a name for, like, demons that come and molest you. There's, like, a male and a female.
Yeah. I forget what they're called. And they're said to, like, impregnate you with, like... No.
They impregnate? No, they might. I don't know. I just know that there's...
Maybe I made that part up.
Okay. Maybe it was a scary movie. Maybe you watched too much of that. Oh, I can't think of the name of them.
You were telling me about it not too long ago. But... So, yeah, that ended up happening. And then that's still not even the worst part. Are you ready for the worst part?
Not really, but go ahead.
So, Jake... Oh, did I say his name was Jake or Jack? Crap. The husband claims to have been raped by the entity in his own living room.
Oh my gosh.
While watching a baseball game.
So he was fully awake during this.
Fully awake. Yep. He was in the middle of a baseball game and then he just got bent over and...
Oh my gosh.
Is that not insane?
Yes.
The thing that I don't understand is, like, did it hurt? Like,
incubus and succubus.
Incubus and succubus. You should do a story on them.
Creepy.
That seems like something, if you talk about it too much, they'll come around.
Yeah, I do not want to summon them. Thank you. You still have your sage, I hope.
You don't want to have sex with a ghost?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I remember there was a story. I found a story and I was like, wow, look it. This woman had sex with a ghost and then it became like attached to her. She goes, Alicia, you better not have sex with the ghost. I was like, what in the world? She was dead serious.
Listen to your mother.
I know. I'm gonna now. I love how she begged me for a ghost fucker. And of course, the family just couldn't catch a break. You would think after, I'm pretty sure that the father was the first one to be raped, and you would think after that it's like, all right, we're done, we're out. No, they still continue to stay. And after that, one of the daughters ended up getting a gash by a light fixture that just randomly fell from the ceiling. On multiple occasions, the daughters were pushed down the flight of stairs in the house. Yeah, it wasn't just like there was no one in the family that wasn't touched by this demon. And Janet one day was picked up 6 feet in the air and thrown across the room.
And yet they're still staying there.
Still here.
They haven't at this point called in any psychic, anything at all. They haven't done anything. They're just like, okay, this is what it is now.
Oh, no. After 3 years of terror, of course, the family had finally had enough. After 3 years.
Is this a real story?
Yeah, it's a real story. But the thing is, like, you're literally letting your kids go through this horror. Like, if it was the adults, then it would be like, all right, whatever, you guys are just stupid.
Yeah, but they're pushing them down the stairs. They're beating your dog, and you're not doing anything for 3 years. Not doing a single thing.
There's a lot of skeptics.
That's what's making me think, like, really?
For 3 years, they did nothing. And then finally, they reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren. Dun, dun. Who, if you don't know about Ed and Lorraine Warren, this is for the viewers, Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are the most notorious demonologists ever known. They studied demons and spirits and helped families with the scariest of hauntings perform exorcisms to help rid of demons. They handled cases that inspired movies like Amityville Horror, The Conjuring, The Haunted, The Haunting in Connecticut. The top scaries they were part of.
Top scaries.
Top scaries. So the couple investigated the home with their team for several weekends. They say that during that time, they knew they were witnessing the haunting of a very powerful demon and 3 other spirits that the demon used to help terrorize the family. So the way they make it seem, the way they make it sound is like that the other spirits wouldn't have haunted them, but the demon was using them as like pawns to mess with the family as well. But the other spirits were an elderly woman, a young, possibly violent girl, and a man who had suffered and died in the home. They don't specify how he suffered, but he did die in the home. So it was kind of just like a spiritual group home of all ages. No, nothing. Tough crowd.
Sorry.
The team also witnessed mirrors shake, furniture move, objects get thrown around the rooms. And on one occasion, the demon left a message on the mirror telling them to get out and attack them on multiple occasions as well.
Get out? Okay, I will listen. Goodbye.
But why would they? Absolutely.
This was Ed and Lorraine they're doing this too. Okay.
And their team, yeah. Now, Ed and Lorraine were also able to record knocking, footsteps, pig grunts, shadowy figures, and they recorded multiple
What the hell?
rapes.
What is the pig grunts? Where does that come in?
I don't...
Do you explain it later, or that's just...
No.
Okay.
That's it. I guess the demon or one of them. Maybe... Well, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Some of my jokes are just a bit much, so
okay, yeah.
Keep those ones to myself. Ed and Lorraine realized that, maybe we need to seek additional help. And they ended up reaching out to Roman Catholic priests, where they ended up coming to the house. Now, this is where things get weird.
Mm-hmm.
So multiple Roman Catholic priests came to the house, but there were no reports of any unusual activity each time a priest went in. One priest even stayed for 2 nights. Like, slept there for 2 nights. Nothing happened. One priest ended up conducting 2 unsuccessful exorcisms. So, but nothing was reported to have happened. So that really confuses me, because don't they only do the exorcisms in extreme cases?
Yeah. I've never heard of someone just going in and seeing absolutely nothing and then just exorcising the home just because. Well, maybe they did like a cleansing and they called it an exorcism. Because you could do a cleanse without really cause. Okay. Like, you can go and buy sage and just sage your house.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's what they were doing and they just put it in there as exorcisms, or exorcising the house, but...
I don't really know that much about that.
So the only reports of hauntings or activity or happenings or whatever you want to call it are from the Smurl family themselves and then the Ed and Lorraine team.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else who went there didn't witness a single thing. So the family ended up sharing their haunting with the world, hoping that media would get them to someone who could actually help them.
So were they making money now at this point off of it?
I don't think they were making money off of it yet.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead. Just tell. I don't want to ruin it.
Well, we're almost done here. But unfortunately, that was a bad move because the world just turned on them and everyone just assumed it was a hoax. Many thought that the attacks were a cover to an abusive marriage because a lot of the attacks looked like something that would have been done by through domestic violence. So,
like throwing the kids down the stairs and oinking.
Yeah, like, well, they're the only ones who heard the oinking in the Ed and Lorraine team.
So it was just a really terrible husband making terrible jokes to his wife.
I guess so. That's just what some people thought. And so the family claimed that they had enough scrutiny and claimed that they wanted to be done with the media. They were done telling people about it. They wanted, to kind of like get away from everything and just deal with it in a family matter. But then after everything kind of died down, they decided to write a book called The Haunted with Ed and Lorraine Warren. So you get where I'm going with this? That's when they started to make that money. And the family finally moved in 1987. So after 13 years, they finally decided to move. And they claimed that they continued to hear knocking from time to time and saw shadows here and there, but nothing crazy. Supposedly, this entity followed them everywhere before, but now they're fine. And so Deborah Owens moved into the Smurl family's supposed chilling house of horrors and reported 0 happenings. And that's the end of my story.
So you're saying hoax?
I don't know. Well,
I'm just saying if that stuff happened to your kids is the only thing that sounds like really, really weird to me. Because who would be like, oh, for 13 years, my kids are getting thrown downstairs and this and that, and they're not doing anything about it?
There was just no physical evidence that it was a haunting other than what Ed and Lorraine were saying in their team. But Ed and Lorraine, there's also a lot of, what is the word, skepticism around their line of work. A lot of people think that they have been part of hoaxes in the past.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways on them because anything that they get, they made their huge museum out of it.
Right.
Which didn't they like donate it all? I know that they're both passed away now, but I feel like I read or heard somewhere they donated everything that they got to the church, to the archdiocese, and they're probably like, we don't want it. I don't know if that's true. I could just be making that up. I feel like I read or heard that somewhere.
It also kind of sounds like they were going through hard times and they needed to get their family out of the gutter. So it doesn't specify if they were making money through all this, but maybe they were, and that's why they continued on. Because think about it, not a single person witnessed anything except the other 2 people who you were going to continue to make money with after making the book.
Everyone who monetized off of it saw something or heard something or felt something.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of speculation out there. I mean, it's a creepy story for sure, but I kind of agree with the fact that it could have just been a domestic violence situation and they monetize it.
It's a good story. Either way, I don't know. I'm like, the money thing is what always, like, I wanted to know when they started making money, because if you're doing all this to make money 13 years later, that's a long game. You could have just written a nonfiction book.
I know.
I mean, a fictional book and published it and been like, here's a good story.
I know. I should have looked that up. I'm so curious to know if they made money.
But it still was a very spooky story.
It was.
I liked it a lot.
Thank you.
And I liked when your sister came in and scared you and you jumped out of your seat in the middle of telling it. That was probably the best part of the story.
I wish we had a camera on for that one.
6 feet in the air. That was great.
All right. Well, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening.
If you have a story you'd like us to share, email us at ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com.
Don't forget to follow our Facebook page, Ouch, Was That a Ghost?